Hey, awesome ones. So today I have a huge announcement, and along with the 5 tips that I'm going to put in this video that are all about, looking and feeling your best over 50, I can't wait. I'm so excited. I can't wait to do a reveal for you. But, just like those reality shows or those other kind of home renovation reveals, I'm going to show it to you right after this. So I got to tell you, it's my privilege to be here with you, whether I'm doing videos or the Instagram posts or you're following me on Facebook. I just love what I do. It's something that I'm passionate about, and I'm just so happy that so many of you are kind of following me along on the journey. And so for the last year and a half, I have created a book. And it's a book of 50 different ways, 50 different tips for you to embrace this chapter of your life. And let me just tell you some of the different chapters that's in here. Chapter 1, rediscover your youthful spirit. And chapter 2, focus on a living plan, not an exit plan. Chapter 3, rejuvenate and recharge. Chapter 4, defying those birth certificate numbers. Hey, let's do that together. And chapter 5, unstuck the rut. And a lot of these chapters, it's not just me talking about things. I've been in the rut. I've been where a lot of you are, where you get in a rut with fashion, or sometimes you're just in a rut with life, especially in these days right now when there's lots of challenges and struggles going on. I tell you the good and the bad and the ugly of my life, and there's a lot of different tips in there. Also, the next chapter, chapter 6, this was probably the most difficult to write. It's called Heal the Wounds. And in here, I talk about forgiveness. That was really, really tough because I've been dealt some situations of the hands of abuse. And also, don't give up on love is in there. You're worthy of respect. Stress and worry are silent killers. And how to truly relax. And then the last chapters here, chapter 7, wrinkles are your storylines. Chapter 8, you're never too old to dream. Boy, that's a really great chapter. I hope you all get right into that because, dreams don't have an expiry date. So, yeah, that'll be fun to read. And then chapter 9, what's next? And what's next is us all sharing this together. But I did say at the top of the hour or the top of the show, I'm thinking I'm on a home renovation show, aren't I? But anyway, I did talk about that I was going to talk to you about 5 tips, and they're 5 tips from inside this book. And I'm just going to touch on them a little bit. There's another 45 in here, so I'm quite excited about it. And you might be thinking to yourself, okay, how do I get this paperback? And it's on Amazon. I'm self-published on Amazon. So whatever country you're in, all you have to do is just go in the search bar and search Awesome Over 50, Heather Hyde, and that's Hyde. And, everyone, let me know in the comments too, if you end up getting one whenever. And it also makes a great gift for somebody as well. But, it's a guide. And also in this guide, I also have exercises. So there's exercises in here for you to, maybe there's one here about making up a fun list. So that's in here, or things that maybe you want to do, for the dreaming part of your life. And it forms as a guide and a workbook. But I said I'm going to get into some tips, and I can't wait. Again, I've lost my voice over all this excitement. Let's start with tip number 1. All right, so tip number 5 in the book is laughter is the best medicine. And hey, I don't have to tell you that these days, you know, when we turn on the television set, a lot of times we're just inundated with breaking news or politics or, you know, all the challenges that we do have these days. And it becomes kind of like an addiction, a bit of a drug to find out, oh my gosh, what's happening today? And hey, I understand if you have to, and I do this, I want to know what health things are out there and what I need to know, but I don't need to know it at the 11 o'clock news. So I haven't watched the 11 o'clock news for decades. Basically, I found that there was so much doom and gloom that I would go to sleep or try to go to sleep, and I would have all this anxiety. So now I watch, well, usually it's 90s sitcoms that are on at that time of night, but you know, I'm watching something that makes me laugh, something that gives me a belly laugh. And then when I turn everything off, I feel calm, I feel happy, and I just think that turning off the 11 o'clock news is one thing and just getting more laughter with the sitcoms. I also find that, you know, I love to watch during prime time. I love to watch comedies, and I have lots of DVDs. If there's nothing on, I can watch some comedies. And also, I will admit that these days I'm watching a lot of the Hallmark movies, you know, those sappy movies, and I don't know, they make me smile, and sometimes they're so silly they even make me laugh. But also my dog makes me laugh, and my husband makes me laugh, and there's nothing that just kind of soothes my soul more than just seeing my children laugh and being happy. And they say that when you laugh, you release these brain chemicals, these endorphins, and they really have proven that these, I don't know, happy chemicals or happy endorphins help you to live a better life. And you know, it's our choice whether we leave the news on all the time, go to bed just thinking about the doom and gloom, or choose laughter. And I really hope that you choose laughter. So the next one, tip number 18, this is a great question. What if there never was a birth certificate? And this is kind of a blueprint kind of tip that I have in the book as to how to feel and how to find your mindset age. Hey, you know, I know a lot of us, myself included, I don't feel like I'm my age. I mean, there's no way. When I think about my grandmothers at my age, I don't feel like that person at all. So I have a specific number, a specific age that I have, and I'm going to suggest that you pick your favorite age, you know, as long as it's not like 18 or 16 or something like that. Well, I'll tell you, mine is 42. And when I was 42, I just found that the world was my oyster, and I also found that I loved the way that I was wearing clothes, and I loved the way that I looked. I loved my confidence. I loved my long hair, and now that I'm 65. Anyway, now that I'm this age, the birth certificate age, I still feel the same way. I feel like I still do wear clothes and love the fashion, and I still have my long hair, even though it's kind of silver now, and I still have that confidence. And thinking about the mindset age and how you get there is in the book. And also, you know, it's also tapping into your authentic self and trying to find her again. So that's a great chapter there, or tip. So tip number 31 in the book, stress and worry are silent killers. Now, also, I don't know if Bill can do a little bit of a close-up on this, but do you notice that I've got big print in this book? I specifically did that because, well, some of us need the big print, right, to read. And also, you know, in the book, I talk about a lot of things like that, and how wrinkles are really just storylines and age spots. And, you know, I'm not trying to hide that we're getting older. I deal with those as well. But let's talk about how worry worry can be, and stress can be silent killers. Now, a lot of times we read about this, that, you know, if you're overstressed, maybe you'll have some heart problems, or you already know that, you know those situations. But in the book, I talk about worrying twice, because I used to do this all the time. I've got 4 kids, so if they were going away on a long trip, I would like, oh my gosh, I wonder if they did this, or are they wearing their sunscreen, or are they, making sure that their money is hidden, and all this kind of stuff, on and on. I'm sure I drove my kids crazy. But anyway, I try not to do that anymore, because I found that if you worry like that, you're actually worrying twice. Now, kind of hear me out on this. You're worrying once because of what might happen, and then if something does happen, you have to worry all over again. And what I found is I just want to worry once if it happens, because 99% of the things that I worry about never happen. So there's a saying that I kind of live life with right now, and it's let go and let God. And it's just so life-changing for me. It helps me just to move on to the day and know that whatever it is, it's in very, very good hands. And talking about stress, let's talk about the next one. Now, one thing about my book, it's not all lollipops and roses, because our lives aren't just happiness and dreams and all that sort of thing. I take a deep dive, and in number 28, it's Forgiveness Frees You. And this was a hard one to write, because I had to kind of go back in time and feel the pain, the hands of abuse by not only my father, but also my first husband. And interestingly enough, both of them have now passed away. And, I talk about how having the anger, having the resentment, everything inside me just seemed to kind of be eating me from the inside out. And I also found that, I was getting sick. I was having migraines and holding on to this anger. A lot of times they say that will make you sick. So I wrote the chapter or the tip, and it wasn't easy, but I just thought to myself, hey, if I can help one person through this, and I'm not going to say that you're just going to read it and you're going to go, okay, I'm forgiving whoever it is. It's probably, tip number 28 is probably one where you have this book handy and you go back to it. And you say, I'm going to read that again. And I'm getting there, but not quite yet. And actually the exercise is a very interesting exercise, because the exercise is to write a name. And write one name of somebody and leave it there. Don't think about it necessarily at the moment, but as you go back to it, you'll look at the name, and now that I've forgiven those people, and I forgave them when they were alive, by the way, it's freeing. It's so freeing. And again, I hope it helps even just one person. All right, so tip number 41 is history proves that age is not a barrier for our dreams. And I actually have a whole chapter on dreams and the process. If you find a dream that you love, what's the process to get it going? And there's 7 tips in there on, how to get started, how to keep going, and how to not really listen to the naysayers as you're on your journey. But, I find that as I get older, and as I did get older, I really started getting into who my true authentic self was. And that's why I'm doing this. I just love helping people. I wanted to be a psychiatrist when I was in high school. So here we go, kind of full circle. But, you find your dreams. And once you've found it, you're not working. You're not working. You're just having a flow of life every single day, and then you make a little bit of money sometimes, and that can help you with your fun list. And again, that's another tip in the book, is the fun list and how to get going on that. But no, if you need to know, an example of who actually did this, think of Colonel Sanders, the KFC guy. I think he was 65. He was cashing in his pension checks because he had a dream, and he also had 11 herbs and spices, so he had kind of a secret sauce there as well. But he's a great example that I look back on a lot. And nope, your dreams don't have an expiry date, and this is one way to help you go for them. Oh, and by the way, I'm just kind of skimming the surface with these tips that I'm talking about. Forgiveness is several pages long, and so I just wanted to let you know that I go into a little bit more detail with everything. But talking about dreams, 3 years ago, I started a YouTube channel, and it was my dream to help people, especially women, look and feel their very best, be the very best version of themselves, and have more confidence. That was really the big goal. But these days, I find that I can look at my life and look at how I've been caring for an elderly mother-in-law. And Bill's brother, he has a developmental disability, and how we help him, how we downsize from this great big 5-bedroom home that we used to have with a pool and a sauna and yada 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 to a townhouse in the city, and all of these things that I want to share with you, and a lot of them, well, they're all in the book actually, some of those things I just mentioned. But as I'm going on this journey, and as I was learning things, it became another tip. It became another chapter. And of course, I'm still going to be with you on the videos and the posts and the social media with beauty and fashion. And there's also usually a little Yorkie. And here he is, our little Yorkie Hurricane. And, when I was writing this book, Little Hurricane, he was sitting on the bed, and I tell him to be my script dog. Don't I usually call you my script dog? And every Tuesday night, just like clockwork, I would sit on the bed and start writing, and it was just amazing how the different ideas would just kind of flow. But I'm so happy that you've listened to this video this far, and I'm so excited to share this book with you. And don't forget that I'll put a link below the description, but also just at Amazon, of whatever country you're in, it's in pretty well all the countries now, just check for Awesome Over 50, Heather Hyde. And what I want you to remember about yourself as you're going through this journey and embracing Awesome Over 50 and this chapter of your life, that there's no one like you. There will never be anyone like you. You have these gifts, you have these wonderful things that you can share with the world. Even if it's love for family, friends, you're unique, you're special, and you can rock this world. So I just have to tell you, you are all awesome ones, and I love you so much, and thank you for sharing this with me, and keep it awesome.